G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we are doing the rep room update for October 2023. This is the lizard room, so this is part 1 of 2. Next week we'll look at the snake room. Who I have in my hands here is Blaine. Now Blaine here is my little lowland blotched blue tongue. When she was much younger, she was very shy. You didn't really see her out often when she was a baby. But as she's gotten older, she's becoming a bit more confident and she's out more regularly these days. And today she's a bit of a handful. But she's going well, guys. She's smashing food, gaining a bit of weight, not much size, mainly weight at this time. Here's this. Can you sit still for a moment, Blaine? That's a negative. So Blaine here's housed in a 90 centimeter enclosure. In an enclosure, guys, we do have a her LED UVB light strip, or light bar, I should say. 2 hides, that she's still a bit shy, but we're working on that. Substrate's coconut fiber, food bowl, water bowl, and there is a ramp in there in the backing as decorations purposes. But yeah, that is little Blaney. Next 2 critters we're doing of the Reptile guys are these 2 naughty boys. Bluey, Bluey, you can go down there. We'll do this one first. So this one here is Bo. He's one of 3 Eastern Blue Tongue skinks we have in the family. He's a more quiet, mature, and level-headed Blue Tongue of the family. Doesn't do much. He just kind of sleeps in his hide, maybe come out every once in a while, get a feed, and back in the hide he goes. So not too much going on in his life. But then with the more mischievous one and the more active one here, Bluey. Now, Bluey is the brother to Bo. When these 2 were much younger, they were housed together until about probably 5 years ago they started fighting each other. And we had to separate them since. But since then, both of them are doing fantastic. Like I said, Bluey, he's more active, so this time of year he's running around like an idiot. Now, these 2 are housed in an identical setup, so in the enclosure, guys, they're both housed in a 4-foot or 127 enclosure. In the enclosure, they've got the infrared projector for their heat, the LED UV light bar from Get Your Pet Right. We've got their hide, ramp, their substrate, food bowl, and water bowl. Pretty simple, pretty basic. I'd rather give these guys as much floor space as possible, so I try not to cramp up their enclosures too much with stuff. But that's the 2 male Eastern Blue Tongue skins. We're going to go down and say hello to Billy next. Here we have Billy. This is pretty much Billy's the youngest of the 3 Eastern Blue Tongues, but she's pretty much the biggest. When I first got her, she wasn't probably as big as her head, really. So that was about 3 years ago coming up. So Billy was a rescue Blue Tongue from work. Unfortunately, she was the runt in her litter. So I decided to take her in, and ever since then, she has thrived. Just went for a shed cycle, so she's looking absolutely beautiful. Bit of a horse, somewhat like she's a bit of a chunky Blue Tongue. But saying that, I don't mind. She's gaining on the weight. Not going to breed her because of what's happened down here. Like I said, she was a runt and was picked on by the other siblings. So she did lose part of her tail, but it's growing back nicely. With Billy here, she's housed in a pretty much identical setup to Bluey and Bo. The only difference being she's got a heat pad instead of a heat lamp. She's more used to the heat pad than a heat light. So that doesn't phase her one little bit. She's still the cranky, I won't say cranky, but funny little Blue Tongue who has attitude at times. Continuing along the skink wall, guys, we do have Pedro, who is my male pink tongue skink. I have downsized him to a 2-foot enclosure as, for whatever reason, trying housing him a 3 and a 4-foot enclosure has never worked out for him. So downsizing him to a 2-footer, and ever since then he's changed for the better. He's eating more, he's more active, considering he's a pink tongue doesn't do much, but I have noticed a big difference in his behaviour. He's, like I said, very shy, very cranky pink tongue at times. So I don't want to keep him out much longer, because he is a nocturnal species. Like I said, guys, he's housed in a 2-foot enclosure. In his enclosure, we do have his substrate. There is a branch in there for him to climb up on. His backing, where we've incorporated our hide into it, so he can go in there and sleep in there. There's a light, I guess an LED light, you would like to call it, on top. He's got heating from above now instead of having a heat pad. So we decided to chuck an infrared projector in there. A couple hides on the floor, food bowl and water bowl. And that's really about it for Pedro and his little house. However, I think it's for the better for this guy. Continuing on the little skink theme, guys, we do have my pair of shinglebacks next. So the one in my hands here is Anastasia. She's the beautiful girl. Very cool, calm and collected. She loves coming out, loves being cuddled. She has a habit of curling up on a small part of my bed and just falling asleep when I get her out. She's a very sociable little lizard. In her cage, she's active, she walks around, she eats, she annoys the living daylights out of her boyfriend Monty, who we get to in a moment. She's just overall such a sweet little girl and doing just fine. Her boyfriend, on the other hand, he's a absolute unit of a shingleback. Doesn't like to be picked up. So I've got to be quick. I would say will pee all over the place. Doing fine. He's a bit more of a sleepyhead. I'm just watching Anastasia so she doesn't jump off the bed. But he's a bit more of a sleepyhead. Doesn't do much. He just comes out, eats, go back to bed, sleeps, and pees on me when he gets half a chance. Otherwise, these two are both housed in a 4-foot enclosure together. So in their enclosure, guys, we do have 2 hides from the share. Sleep on, bask on, whatever they want to do. There is some substrate, obviously, for them in there. Heating UV, backing, food bowl, water bowl. That's kind of about it as well. So another basic setup. But like I said, I prefer to keep things simple for my skinks. That way I've got more space if necessary, except for Pedro. He's a bit of an exception. But yeah, enough of the skinks for now. We'll get into a couple of other species of lizards in this room. The next little scaly baby I've got here, guys, is Akko. Now, Akko here is my female eastern war dragon. Now, before people start commenting she's obese or she's this, and that, Akko is a stunted war dragon, so she won't grow properly. I won't get to the full size that her wild counterparts would get to. As well, most of her organs are jammed pretty much in there. She's got very little fat, so that's all her organs. Mostly her, I guess her womanhood is taking most of that space, as sometimes they can be active. She has laid infertile eggs in the past. So saying that, she's perfectly fine otherwise. Akko here is pretty much a very attention-seeking war dragon. She will love to get my attention, either by banging on the glass or hand bobbing, hand waving, whatever she can do to get my attention. So she's a funny girl at that. Akko here is housed in a 140 centimeter enclosure, so just a bit bigger than 4 feet. So in between 4 and 5 feet in length. In the enclosure, guys, we do have a heat and a UV. Same combo as much everyone else so far. We've got a backing, hammock, couple of branches that she will perch on, hide that she will sometimes use, a couple of pieces of wood and rocks in here to bask on. We've got her substrate, food bowl, and her water bowl, and there's a couple of fake plants in there as well, just for decoration purposes. I don't use fake plants in most of my lizard cages just because I can eat them. But however, Akko, she got really annoyed at me when I did take that one out in particular. So since then, put her back in and she's calmed down a bit more. Saying that, she's not doing too bad. Okay guys, the next little critter we've got in the video here is Dusty, who is my black-headed mono, or Tris's mono, whatever you want to prefer to call him. He's a stunning specimen, I won't lie. Don't you do it again. He's very on edge today. Now, usually the black-headed monos are quite a novice species, so I've got to kind of be careful here. Already it's happened. He's already nailed it twice when I was getting him out. So he's not a happy little lizard. Other than the fact he's going well, he's constantly basking out and about, even while I'm in my room. So he is getting that more confidence of coming out, and I guess he's not as fearful as he used to be when he sees me. He's still not used to being the whole touching and handling sort of deal like right now. So at the moment, he is kind of hissing at me and carrying on like a Fruit Loop. Dusty he also has a 140 centimeter enclosure, very much like Akko, but his setup is obviously different as he is a different species. So in his enclosure, guys, we use a very fine grain of sand as his substrate. He's got his fake plants, his branches. He's got 2 hides in here, a food bowl, a water bowl, croc skull. He's got his heat and his UV. He has a habit of pretty much wedging himself between the light bar and the top of the enclosure. I guess where it's nice and warm and secure for him, as he likes to wedge his tiny little body of his into places where it shouldn't be. However, that's Dusty. I'm going to patch myself up properly, and we get back into the last few animals of the room. For those who are thinking of asking why it's like to get bitten by a goanna, or a Tris's mono for this fact, imagine getting your finger kind of getting stabbed by multiple sharp objects with a bit of pressure, by the way. And then imagine having also this throbbing sensation like a, I don't know, let's say kind of a like a bee sting or a wasp. Very much like that in the throbbing sensation. As I do believe these Tristis monos do have small traces of venom. So, yeah, not fun. Okay, guys, the next little critter here we got here is Crystal. Now, Crystal here is my little black soil or pygmy bearded dragon. She's doing excellent. She's becoming a fatty. She's working up, smashing food once more. Just went for a shed cycle about a week ago at the time of this recording, so she's looking immaculate. However, this girl here doesn't like me very much, so I'm kind of glad at the moment she's behaving herself. Now, Crystal here's housed a 90 centimeter enclosure or 3 foot enclosure. In the enclosure, guys, we do have a heat, a UV, there is a backing, a silicone rock that she'll bask on. There's an ornament in there as well for her to sit under her UV as well. Food bowl, water bowl, sands and substrate. Now, it's a very fine grained sand, guys, so it would cause no impactions for her. As well, I do feed her properly in a food bowl, not on the sand. With insects, I kind of do throw in the food bowl first, and if they kind of get out of the bowl, it's up to her to not eat the sand really. But I try and avoid it the best as I can. And I do offer her a hide as well, guys, just to give her a bit more security as well. Usually I do find bee dragons don't use hides, but in this case I have found it has worked better for Crystal. And that way she's not seeing my ugly face first thing in the morning. Even though, guys, this is mostly a lizard room, I do have a snake in this room. So this is all Valentino. Now, Valentino is a holdback from my first ever clutch of children pythons. That was about almost 2 years ago, so 1.5 years ago at this stage. So Valentino's doing excellent, guys, smashing food. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, guys, you would have seen a little reel I put up of him thinking one finger was food one day. It was all fun and games for me. Getting bitten by him is nothing, to be honest. However, getting bitten by his dad on the other hand, yikes, that's a no. Now, we did upgrade him recently, so he's now housed in a 50 centimeter enclosure. He used to be in a 1 foot square enclosure. So in his enclosure, guys, there is a cave with a heat pad underneath the enclosure. So that's his warm side. Substrate, he shares a light strip with a few other animals who we get to in a moment. And I decided to put a fake rock stack in his enclosure instead of putting actual rocks in there. And to be honest, guys, he's been loving that kind of creation I've done for him. Most often he will go under there of a night time and just cruise around, and just exploring as a little snake should. Yeah, very happy he's got the temperament of his mother, very calm, cool and collected, and not a stuck up idiot like his dad. So he's a sweetheart. Look at him. Now onto the smallest residence of the house. We got my two little eastern spine-tailed geckos. Charcoal, who's in this injured hand here, he's the smaller bugger. Well, this one here is Luna. She's the girl, potentially gravid, so I've got to be very gentle with her. I'm hoping there's eggs in her. Saying I have seen these two lock up multiple times in the breeding season. Both are doing excellent. Charcoal is a very shy, very I guess, secretive animal. I don't see him often during the day. Obviously, they're geckos, so I'm not expecting to see him. But I see Luna a heck of a lot more than I see Charcoal. He usually comes out late at night and hunts around, looks for his girlfriend, maybe do the naughty D, so dirty D, I should say. But yeah, he's still going well. But while Luna here, she's been fantastic. I thought I would never see her often. However, she'll come out and sit on a branch during the day, just watch the world go by. And she's quite cool and calm, collected for a little gecko. So very pleased that she's a very, very easygoing gecko. While Charcoal, you need to be more confident, my boy. So these two geckos, by the way, guys, are housed in a 30 centimeter enclosure. In the enclosure, they've got a bit of a mixed substrate from coconut fiber as a base layer to sand on top. It just helps where Luna lays her eggs, I can find the eggs easier. As well, holds a bit more humidity better for them, so they have better sheds. They've got their branches, they've got 2 hides in there, heat pad, fake, backing, there is a fake plant too. So on to the last animal, guys. So what we have here is Suri. Now Suri here is my sand swimmer skink, and she's doing a big poo on my thumb. Don't you bite me as well. I've already been bitten once before today. So Suri here is more or less a show animal, not really a handling animal. Oh, you're really grumpy. And thanks. Now smell. So Suri's doing quite well, guys. You can see the size of her. She is quite a decent sized sand swimmer. I wish I could kind of free handle her like my other reptiles, but like I said, I don't want to lose her. But it's all about trust, isn't it, sweetheart? Hey? Just got to work on it. She's also housed in a 50 centimeter enclosure. Given her name, there's about 3 inches of sand for her to burrow into, so let's say swim in, as that's what they do. There is a couple of hides in there as well for her to hide in. There's a heat pad. There's a light strip, like I mentioned, that she will share with Charcoal, Luna, and Valentino. There is a fake plant and backing in the enclosure. Basic setup, but that's what she needs as well. As sand swimmers prefer to, like I said, burrow into the sand, do their thing, and she'll come out every second day for feed, and that's about it really. So we'll put her back, wash my hands, and let's get out of here. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys got a bit of a kick out of me getting bitten by Dusty behind me. Massive screw you, Dusty. I know you ain't no hide thinking of another way to kill me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different video. I do apologise if I spoke a bit too quickly. I just want to get this video made quickly, as I don't really have the time this month to do a full proper one, as I want to do something a bit different to normal. So like I said, guys, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.